And my whole team was counting on me to make a good response video. My wife and my kid were counting on me to make a good response video, and I failed. I didn't make a good video.
Did they see it before it went out?
It was live.
Billy Carson just recently did a podcast on trauma, and as we know, he's faced a lot of trauma over this whole Wes Huff and Billy Carson conversation that's been going on over the past few months. Now, things have died down quite a bit on this Billy Carson end of things, but he's come out now and he's been extremely vulnerable. And honestly, let's just be honest about that. But I don't know personally, in my heart of hearts, if it's authentic or if it's because of the damage that's been done to his career. Let's watch a little bit of this video, guys, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
I went through a situation recently where I felt kind of ambushed. I didn't feel like it was a situation that was properly set up for me to appear in. I didn't show up as my best self. I was sick. I had just gotten over pneumonia. I was in pneumonia state still. I was still in a healing process. I had just gotten released from the hospital, had a near-death experience. And I felt like someone took advantage of me and took advantage of the situation. And they put me in a situation where I was very uncomfortable, I wasn't sharp, and I wasn't my best. And in that situation, I felt manipulated, and I felt like someone had really betrayed me, someone who I thought was a good friend, somebody I trusted, that I trusted my kids around in their house. And
this is what we call victim stance. This is playing the victim. When a person takes part in something, they don't ever take their side of things into consideration. They act as if everything was against them. And this is what Billy's doing here. Now, I'm not saying that his feelings aren't valid, because he probably could have felt manipulated. He probably could have felt betrayed. He probably could have felt ambushed. But just because the person wasn't doesn't mean that their perception doesn't make them feel that way. So I could see why he could probably have some trauma behind something like that.
This kid would come to my house. My son and his son are best friends. And for that to happen, it really upset me. More than the anger, it was the betrayal that completely shocked me. I didn't know where it came from or how it happened. And I found myself replaying every communication we've had, every instance where we had conversations or, where we were supposed to interact with each other, or text messages or phone calls, to find, like, what did I do wrong? I was trying to figure out, like, what could I have possibly done to this person to get them in a situation where they felt it was okay to do this to me.
I don't think that Mark had any ill intent towards you. Now, here's the thing. Billy and Mark are on two different ends of the spectrum. And he's talking about Mark Menard, the one that hosted this. I wouldn't even call it a debate. It was just a conversation. Now, Mark is a Christian. Wes is a Christian. Mark was kind of just the go-between guy, right? And Billy is a seeker community, whatever you want to call what his beliefs are. And that goes against the Bible, right? So Mark's duty above anything else is to Jesus, not to Billy. So I don't understand why Billy's having so much problems grappling with Mark not going in Billy's side of things and sticking to the script, following Jesus.
So that hurt the most.
Somebody invited you on their podcast?
Yeah.
And there you felt ambushed?
Yes. I felt ambushed. I wasn't given a full scope of what was going on. A person that was to be on that had been, watching a lot of my content over the years, and made a lot of videos going against some of my personal spiritual beliefs, which is okay. It's fine. There's nothing against that. But the person that invited me over knew all about that. They knew that this person pretty much had it in for me.
Now, to say that, I just think that that's just representing Wes in a wrong light, right? I don't think Wes was watching a lot of your content and then making a lot of videos about you in particular. He's making videos about Jesus. He's making videos proving the ancient text of the Bible correctly. He's making videos that go into the direct opposition of your sphere of things, right? It wasn't necessarily like a guided ambush or these videos I'm making with Billy Carson and his audience in mind. Wes has been making videos for years for Christians and for people that are trying to figure out about Christ, right? But they just so happen to be, as I said, the direct opposition. This is the opposing view of your beliefs. It wasn't about you. I know what Wes said was he didn't need to study up on you to be able to make videos on you because your points were moot and they weren't very deep. So I think from what I gather, the average Joe Schmo that just maybe even got saved could probably debate Billy and still beat him. This isn't like a slanderous thing for me to say. It just shows me that Billy's claims aren't rooted on anything substantial to where they can't be refuted.
So you went on a podcast where they had another guest that was going to grill you.
Yeah, going to grill me.
And you show up.
I showed up.
And
I tried to maintain calm and peace. I tried to be respectful. I didn't snap.
In all fairness, Wes didn't grill him. There was nothing that needed to be grilled because as soon as Wes brought his points up, Billy tapped out.
In this situation, to be honest with you, I kind of was a little bit in shock, and I was trying to get my word in. But the way it was being run, it wasn't a fair conversation. I felt like I was being overrun. I felt like my voice hadn't been heard. And then every time I did have something important to say, the person on the other end would have a technical difficulty. And after it happened like 5 times, I got really frustrated and I walked out of this situation.
All the points that Wes made about the Codex Sinaiticus, the book of Barnabas, the book of Jesus' wife, none of those points where you tapped out and said, all right, I'll take your word for it and moved on from, there was no technical difficulties around those parts. So this part about him having technical difficulties does nothing to make your argument any better, unfortunately for you. It's just not a point. It's just like people saying that the integrity of the scrolls of Isaiah don't hold weight because some of the things that were changed in there, but they're small things. It's still 92% accurate. That doesn't do anything to change the integrity of the fact that you weren't prepared to go into this conversation based off all the forbidden knowledge that you've acquired over this past long span of your career.
I gave my do not consent. I said, this is not professional. Like everything that I'm in is like this, with you and me. It's like very professional. And I felt like it didn't show me in my best light, or even the person that the house that I went to, even in their best light. It was just so scattered and chaotic.
That's the thing. It didn't show Billy in his best light. He got exposed for someone that didn't have forbidden knowledge. He got exposed for someone that had just some foolish knowledge. And I understand that there's a whole community rallied around this type of thinking process, this type of belief. This is their thing. But even with that, I still think that it did damage to Billy's career, and especially more than anything, his ego.
And the person agreed, okay, yeah, no problem. But then the person decided anyway to release this footage. So it shocked me because when you go man to man with somebody and you have a conversation and you shake hands, like we used to do in the old days, it's like your bond is your word. Your word is your bond. And in this case, it wasn't. And that really shocked me. It wasn't so much as that the content was released. It was the betrayal and the broken agreement that really hurt me to my core.
I can side with Billy on this. If we're two men and we have, now I don't believe that it happened the way that Billy's saying it, but say it did. Say Mark and Billy did make an agreement. Hey, bro, don't put this out. Let's come back at another day and let's redo this. Let's try to make it, more professional. Give me some time to be better. If they had this agreement and then Mark went back on it, especially being a Christian, that would be foul. That would be something that I'd be like, hey, that's kind of messed up on Mark's part, right? But I don't think that was the type of agreement.
So that, of course, triggered me. I tried to maintain a certain level of cool. I tried to stay the professional route. I wrote up a do not consent form and I went to his house. Now, it was 2 a.m. when I went there because that's when the footage was out. He lives around the corner from me. So I recorded myself at the door, thankfully, because more betrayal, which led me to believe that this person was really a part of this, is that he made a video saying, I was banging on the door and I scared his daughters. And I'm going, wow, that really adds it's like stabbing somebody with a butter knife. The video of me being there was released at the door. He released the ring door footage. I ring the doorbell one time and walk away. Get in my car and you see the headlights come on and I pull off. So, just the scenario of events, I started to feel really angry. And then I was still willing to kind of let it go, whatever. But then when all these threats start coming in.
Threats?
For whatever reason, their fans seem to be very aggressive. So they start calling me racial slurs, calling my wife racial slurs and all kind of derogatory names referring to prostitution, so forth and so on. Commenting under our son's posts on social media negatively, and then all the death threats started coming in.
On Billy's behalf, I did see not even just on YouTube, but on Instagram and everything, where people were making death threats and saying all types of stuff. I didn't see any racial slurs. I'm sure they were there because I've gotten racial slurs on my video before. Oddly enough, from Billy's fans. So that's the funny part. But with on top of that though, Christians, guys, we shouldn't be behaving like this. Now, I do believe that a lot of these comments can be bots. I'm not saying that there aren't some people out there that came at Billy. Now, the thing is, guys, we can't do that as Christians. We have to behave better. It doesn't matter how much you disagree with someone. Don't come at them and hate. We don't do that. The Bible tells us that the golden rule is to love God and love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Even if Billy's not your legit next door neighbor, we're supposed to love mankind. We're supposed to be set apart. We're supposed to act different. And casting out death threats like this just isn't okay.
Very abrasive, very descriptive on how they were going to do it, how they were going to kill me, how they were going to injure me and crush my face on the curb and all these crazy things. So
they went American History X on them talking about curb stomping.
There's a term for this. It's called mobbing.
Yeah.
So they were mobbed.
That definitely was mobbing. Thousands of comments in our live videos, all negative, all derogatory, attacks on our own followers. Every time that somebody would comment something to us positive, they would reply to that person with something negative.
I saw that. I saw a lot of that. I was in the infamous live stream where the video got taken down. I was in the live chat and there was just people going back and forth from both sides of the camp, just acting crazy, man.
And to be honest, I had been through so much in my life, I felt like I could probably take this. I had gotten attacked by another group before in the past, a different kind of group. It was dealing with the shape of the earth. But when I saw that it was really affecting my wife and my son, and the fact that he's now got to be deleted from online, and he was building his own podcast, and and my wife has to see all these death threats, which I could see are really affecting her. It got me really angry. So I wanted to make a response video to this.
And real quick before he gets into this response video, guys, this is what you need to be aware of if you're a content creator. If you put out content that goes viral or gets even 100,000 views, 50,000 views, you are going to get negative comments. The more views your channel gets, the more negative comments you're going to get. It doesn't get any better because you reach a certain height of viewdom, right? If you get 1 million views, you're getting 100,000 negative comments. So be prepared for that. And that's what happened with Billy. The video went viral. He got a whole lot of attention, but with that comes so much negative attention. Going viral is not what you guys think it is. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Let's just put it like that.
This whole situation. And my goal behind it was to explain myself and explain what was going on. But when I got online, something in my brain clicked. And I wasn't the normal Billy. I wasn't the peaceful, calm, zen Billy. Now, I wasn't cursing and screaming because that's not me either. But I was making a lot of pompous statements. I was kind of boasting and bragging because, like, for example, one of the gentlemen, I found out he lives in, or was at least at one point, living on his mom's couch. So I was bragging about, I'm in this nice big house and this guy's on a couch, and some of the people had attacked us.
No, in all fairness, Billy, you ain't always been rich either, bro. You were scamming back in the day, allegedly. Let's not throw stones, bro. At the end of the day, you just made it out the struggle. That's what everybody's trying to do. Nobody wants to stay sleeping on their mom's couch. So don't kick a man when they're down, right? Everybody's got to start somewhere. You just already made it.
I said they're just dumb, poor people, and it's not that I really meant that. I felt like you ever get so angry that there's nothing you can do to get the anger out. There's nobody you can grab. There's nobody you can yell at. You can't get, because they're so far, they're spread out. You can't get in anybody's face. And so the only form of attack I had was my own mouth. And so I used it in a very boastful and pompous way. And it didn't go off too good with a lot of the people that know me, know who I am, that fell in love with forbidden knowledge of my work. So it just didn't go over too well. And so then I got really upset and I made that video, and my whole team was counting on me to make a good response video. My wife and my kid were counting on me to make a good response video, and I failed. I didn't make a good video.
Did they see it before it went out?
Now, this right here is probably the most vulnerable we've ever seen Billy over this whole entire incident, right? My heart does go out to Billy. I'm not going to say that, ha ha ha, Billy's, you reap what you sow. I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is that I don't know how much of this is actually authentic. I know that his image has been tarnished in some way, but I honestly, if you look at the comments in this video, there's so many positive comments of people supporting Billy. There are a lot of people that are being negative, but overall, I think the general support from his team, his camp is still there. His pride is damaged, right? Billy's not a Christian, so I think that he's worried about himself. This happened to me. I do think that there's a level of this pain And these tears that come from the wrong place. I don't think it's because it's like I let all the people who trust in me down. I got on here and I talked bad about people and offended people. I don't think it's coming from a humble place like that. I think it's coming from a place of humiliation. But hey, humiliation can sometimes be the best way to get humbled, because this might really open up Billy's eyes.
It was live.
Oh,
It was live. Yeah. So, in hindsight, I would have done a pre-recorded and had it looked at, but I went live on YouTube and, and I was pretty upset.
when you're just coming out of being sick,
Yeah.
not thinking at your best and highly charged,
Yeah.
generally your brain's not going to make the best forward thinking decision.
Yeah.
Because you're in a fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
And you're in a fight mode because you feel betrayed.
Yeah. I was really feeling attacked. So, we took the video down, but by then, obviously, everybody already copied it and made clips out of it, edited it in ways that made it look even worse than what it really was, to make it sound like I was being more general to the world, not just to the people that had attacked me.
Now, real quick, I want you to notice how dry his eyes already are. Just a few seconds have passed. So that's why I said I don't really think that it's coming from a place of like true repentance or like true sorrow. I just feel like it's really from I'm trying to save face type of thing, because my ego has been damaged over this.
And the fact that the people that were using this content and putting it out really had skewed a lot of the truth and made some statements I don't personally feel were accurate. And so, I'm trying to find first of all, I know that one way to handle this would have been just to wait and take some time. But when you're triggered that deep and that hard, and you're feeling that attacked to where you now we hired another full-time bodyguard, another armed guard, for protection. And pressure on, every time your kid now leaves the house, you got to wonder, is he going to be okay? Is somebody going to do something? They were talking about trying to come to our house and try to get through our gate. But one of the guys, the main guy, lives in the gate, so he can let anyone in the gate if they call him first. So we had to go file reports and police reports, and we had to contact the FBI. And then some people showed up at our office, which is a public address, obviously, but what if I was there,
Did they show up threatening?
They didn't leave any threats, but they did show up, yeah.
Yeah. I've had 3 death threats.
Oh, yeah.
I have experience with the FBI.
Yeah, it's real.
The Newport Beach Police Department. And, it's no fun.
No, it's not fun.
It's not fun.
And I'm trying to find what in my past could be linked to this trauma that not only, of course, responding to it, getting frustrated with the situation, but I feel maybe it's even deeper than that.
What else should I know?
Well, it's putting a lot of pressure on my relationship. I know Elizabeth is, she's a tiger and she's, a dragon too. So, but at the same time, it's a lot, it wears on her as well. It's a lot of pressure trying to navigate this situation and the pressure and all the negative comments. We have people working the comments, but you're still going to see some of them. And a lot of the negativity and that, that about the company and everything else. So,
well, there it goes, right? A lot of negativity. Obviously, you want your marriage to be solid. You don't want people from outside coming in causing problems in your marriage. But at the same time, a lot of negativity that it brought to the company. I thought that Billy's company was impervious to all this, right? But I guess nobody's impervious to falling off, right? And I guess when it's all said and done, maybe this stuff has caused more of an impact to his business and his product sales and his book sales than I thought that it would have. I have noticed that his video count, the views have gone down on it. But I think give it some time, Billy. Give it a year or 2, maybe 3. This will all blow over. Nobody will even be thinking about you in this light anymore. And you'll be going back on to selling millions and millions of dollars of products each year. Now, as I did in the last videos that I've covered on Billy Carson, I am rallying the troops, guys. I'm calling you all in. Every single person that sees this video that is a Christian. There's going to be a lot of people that watch this video that are not. But if you're a Christian, let's pray for Billy Carson, Elizabeth, and their son, that they can all come to know Jesus, that they can use this pain and give God glory for it later on down the line, that their testimony will be such a powerful one about how God radically transformed their lives. Because you got to understand, guys, every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. It's just whether they're going to do it on this side of eternity or on that side of eternity. And once they do it on that side, there ain't no going back. There's no second chances once you die. So let's pray for them to come to know the Lord. Christians, stop attacking them. This is not an attack video, although I'm sure somebody's going to call it hate. I'm doing this out of love. I really think that we got to do better when it comes down to praying for our enemies, though. People that come against Jesus, people that speak a different belief than we do. We still got to pray for them to come to know the truth of Christ. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.